Sánchez is a Spanish family name. Early life. Rosalino Sánchez Felix was born on Las Flechas, a small ranch in Sinaloa. He was the youngest of 7 children. His parents were Santos Sánchez and Signorina Felix. Chalino grew up poor and lived a difficult life. His sister, Juana, called him a curious and mischievous child who always dreamed about becoming a singer. His birth name is Rosalino, but he preferred his nickname Chalino. Since Rosalino sounded too feminine for Sánchez. In 1975, when he was 15, his sister was raped by Chapo Perez. 2 years later, in 1977, a 17-year-old Chalino saw the man at a party and allegedly shot him in revenge, killing him. After committing this act, Sánchez left for Tijuana with his gun and a Jesus Malverde chain. During his time in Tijuana, he worked as a coyote, taking immigrants into the United States. The same year, Chalino himself crossed into the United States as an undocumented migrant worker. He began in Oregon and later moved to Los Angeles to live with his aunt in Inglewood, California. He washed dishes, sold cars, and, according to his friends, dealt small quantities of marijuana and cocaine. He also helped his older brother, Armando, run an immigrant smuggling operation. Chalino met Maricela Vallejos through his cousin, Rosalba. In 1984 they married in a simple and intimate wedding. They married with their son, Adán Sánchez, on the way and had a second child, Cynthia Sánchez. They were married until Chalino Sánchez's death in 1992. In 1984, Armando was shot and killed in a hotel in Tijuana, which inspired Chalino to compose his first corrido or ballad. Around this time, Chalino was arrested. He began to compose songs for his fellow inmates and anyone that had a story worth telling. Chalino began to earn money through his compositions and would be gifted with guns and presents by his customers. Among his many customers are Lucio Villarreal, El Pelavacas, and Jorge El Coquio Castro. A small group known as Los Cuatro de la Frontera recommended Chalino go to a recording studio in Olympic Boulevard in Los Angeles. The studio was called San Angel Records and was owned by Angel Mariscal. Originally another artist was meant to sing Chalino's songs, but he cancelled, so Chalino sang his own songs. In 1989, Chalino recorded his first cassette of 15 songs. While selling his cassettes out of his car trunk, Chalino stocked tapes at local swap meets, bakeries, and various other businesses across south-central Los Angeles. Chalino connected with another Mexican immigrant, Pedro Rivera, who had set up a small recording studio in Long Beach, California. Called Cintas Acuario, this studio allowed aspiring musicians to record for cheap. Chalino and Rivera pioneered the prohibited corridos, songs that mythologized drug smugglers, murderers, or valientes. The Cintas Acuario roster was not initially aired on radio, but they became the foundation of the Latino genre in Los Angeles. Promoters across the Southland quickly sought to book Chalino at their clubs. Chalino sang his songs in his cadence and Sinaloan slang, something no big singer had ever tried to do. 1992 Coachella incident. On January 25, 1992, Chalino was performing at the Plaza Los Arcos restaurant and nightclub in the desert city of Coachella, 120 miles east of Los Angeles. Reportedly Chalino was set to perform at 10 p.m. on the main stage. At around 7 p.m., the event center was at maximum capacity as 400 people were in attendance. During his performance, Chalino began taking song requests from the audience. Shortly before midnight, Eduardo Gallegos, 32, a local unemployed mechanic from Thermal, California, under the influence of heroin and alcohol, requested El Gallo de Sinaloa, which afterwards Gallegos jumped up on stage and pulled out a .25 caliber pistol at Chalino. In retaliation, Chalino pulled his 10mm pistol from his waistband and began a gun battle. Gallegos' first 4 shots hit Chalino twice in the chest near his armpit, striking his lung, and 1 bullet hit accordionist Ignacio Nacho Hernandez in the thigh. Chalino's shots missed Gallegos and accidentally struck 20-year-old Claudio René Carranza in the right leg, hitting the main artery. He was later pronounced dead at John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital. Sánchez and Gallegos opened fire at each other while ensuing in a brief chase into the crowd below. 9 to 15 shots were fired and around 7 more people were reportedly hit in the exchange as well. Gallegos was wrestled to the floor by a bystander until Gallegos was eventually shot in the face with his own pistol. Gallegos and Sánchez were both listed as critical and both transported to Desert Regional Hospital in Palm Springs. Chalino Sánchez was in the hospital for 11 days and was released home without any charges due to a self-defense claim. Eduardo Gallegos, who survived his wounds, was convicted of the crime, and was sentenced to 15 years to life in jail. The shooting made ABC World News Tonight as well as both English and Spanish language newspapers. Chalino saw success with his sales and began getting airplay, although it was a single, old-fashioned, non-narco song called Nieves de Enero. For his next Los Angeles appearance at El Peril, doors had to close at 6 p.m., 5-6 hours before he was due on stage.